Hi everyone, we're here in the beautiful new Holyoke Media Studios today, and I'm talking with Erick Vélez. Erick is our animal control officer here in the city of Holyoke. Thanks for being here today, Erick.
Thank
I
you for having
appreciate
me.
it. So I have a few questions we'll start off with, and I'm
Sure.
going to turn things over to you. How long have you been working for the Board of Health?
I've been here in the city of Holyoke for about 9 years. Prior to that, I was in Springfield for about 10.
Oh, okay. So you've had quite a long history in dealing with a variety of different kinds of animals, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What I'd like to start off with is how your services are different from what TJO offers. Because I see a lot of times on social media posts, people find a stray animal and they call TJO. Thomas J. TJ O'Connor in Springfield. So how do your services overlap, or how are they different as far as dogs?
That's a great way to put it, is that we overlap because we do a lot of the same things when it comes to animal control services. Of course, part of my job is animal inspector. I do sort of a lot of other things as far as follow-ups for quarantines, dog bites, and inspections, other inspections and such. But as far as the animal control aspect of it, is quite similar as far as making sure that the animals are taken care of, making sure that the animals are, maybe the stray dog is taken care of, dog bites are dealt with in a proper manner, cats, all sorts of animals. So we do some of the similar work when it comes to just animal control.
So when would someone call you as opposed to TJO? If they see a dog running loose, or if they have concerns about a dog in their neighborhood that maybe is off leash all the time?
That's the beauty of I think me having to be here for 30, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week sometimes. It's, you can choose to call either one of us, and we both would either respond at the same time. A lot of folks tend to call the police department first, so the police will catch me on the radio, and I would respond. Sometimes maybe it's an after hours thing, and Erick is not around, so you call TJO directly at their facility.
Okay. And the best way to get a hold of you is it going through the police department, or is it calling the Board of Health?
Oftentimes during the day, it's going through the police department.
Oh, okay.
So just going straight to them. They'll catch me usually on the radio, or they'll call me on my phone, my cell phone, if I'm on the road, or certainly calling the office at the Board of Health directly.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm in the office, I could be on the road. So if I'm on the road, yes, call the police department.
Okay. I was talking with a friend yesterday who said there's a dog in her neighborhood that runs loose all the time, scares people, although it's not a vicious dog, and goes on other people's property to do its business. So is that something that you would talk to people about? What would happen in a situation like that?
Sure, we would talk to them. We would, of course, if there are any other, if this is a first-time offense, I would typically just go with the simple approach of, hey, get your dog, make sure he stays inside, or maybe I get the dog and bring him back home, make sure he remains in. TJO may also be able to do that if for whatever reason I'm tied up on another call, or I'm in court, or what have you. But if it is a persistent issue, then of course citations may be issued.
Okay, great. Let's switch to bears. There have been a lot of posts about bears lately. So what can you tell us about how people should react if they see bears on their property or in their neighborhoods?
So first and foremost is to almost not react, because you don't want this animal to be necessarily coming towards you in any way. And we have to also understand that animals in general, the wildlife in general, whether it's a bear, raccoon, possum, skunk, they don't want to be around us any more than we want to be, or we want them to be around us. So keeping a safe distance, watching them go by would be the best recommendation that I would have. However, when it comes to keeping your area clean and having less attractants, making sure that your bird feeders are not necessarily out. Spring and summertime are the busiest time for these bears to be out and about. So making sure that your bird feeders are down, making sure that if you have fruit trees, they are clipped and cleaned, and maybe that the birds are going to go in and eat it, and it's all going to fall to the ground, which is going to attract other things, and then those little things are going to attract the bigger things. So bears they will be attracted, and they've got a good sense of smell, so they'll smell things from a very good distance. You want to eliminate how attracted they are to your area.
Oh, okay. And is there any agency that should be called if wildlife are in neighborhoods, or is it better to just hope that they'll go and keep the attractants to a minimum?
Right. So that's a great question, because environmental police is in the area, and you're welcome to their phone number. They will handle sort of big game and wildlife calls. Also, mass fish and wildlife. I know a lot of people call about say coyotes or bears. And they want them trapped and relocated. I try to tell and educate people on how maybe that's not the greatest idea, is to trap and relocate, because you open that area to other animals moving in when you trap and get them out of there. So we want to minimize that. We want to ensure that if it does need to be trapped and relocated, that the proper agency is called, such as Mass Fish and Wildlife.
So when we're finished with this, maybe you could give us those phone numbers so we can post them with this video.
Absolutely.
Would that be great?
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else regarding wild animals that you'd like people to know or to be conscious of? We talked about bears. I know there are many others. And
yeah, so a thing to understand and maybe know that animals are very opportunistic creatures, right? So the things like raccoons, possums, skunks, which we refer to more as local as urban wildlife. We refer to them more as urban wildlife because they're amongst us more so. Is that when you see them during the day, not everything that you see during the day, whether it's a raccoon, possum, or skunk, has rabies.
Okay, that's good to know.
So that's something that people need to just see them. They're there. Stay away. If for whatever reason there seems to be an issue, then of course give us a call and we'll try to manage the situation and help out as much as possible.
Okay, and you also pick up dead animals, is that right?
That is correct. So roadkill.
Roadkill,
essentially.
Yes.
Yes, we do take care of that. And again, I work with another team of folks that just in case I'm not for whatever reason available in court or tied up on another call and this needs to get done right away, then we make sure that we give them a call and they stop by and take care of it.
Okay. Boy, so we've talked about domestic animals, cats, dogs, we've talked about some wildlife. You mentioned dog bites is something that you're involved with if people are injured by an animal.
Yes. So if people are injured by an animal, oftentimes the first call is to the police. So the police will naturally get me on the radio or call me on my cell phone, especially during the day. After hours, of course, they'll reach out to TJO. And once that animal is secured and either taken to the shelter or secured with its family, then of course we follow up with rabies shots. The animal have rabies shots. Regardless of rabies shots, I still place the animal under quarantine. Why is this? Because rabies shots are not 100% proof against the virus, rabies. So we still place the animal under quarantine regardless.
Okay.
For its 10 days.
All right. Well, thanks very much. It's been a pleasure talking with you. I can tell that you're really enthusiastic about your work. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we close today?
No. Well, I'd like to make sure that folks know that just because animal control or just myself work with animals doesn't necessarily mean that I do anything and everything sort of under the umbrella of animals. This is the reason why we have environmental police. This is why we have animal control. This is why we have Mass Fish and Wildlife and other pest control companies. So just because we all work with animals doesn't mean that we all do the same job. You're not going to call MSPCA for a dog running down the street because they're not going to go.
Right.
You're going to call animal control. So
you're different different fingers on the same hand.
Correct. So we want to make sure that everyone is aware, and if they have more information, if the community has more information, they know exactly who to call, when to call.
Great.
As opposed to just calling the same number every time and maybe being told, sorry, we don't do that.
Well, we hope to get you back doing maybe some short podcasts or short PSAs about some different aspects of animal control. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll close for today, but thank you so much for talking with us, and appreciate you being here today.
Very welcome.